Hi, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Glad to have you. So last week we went over the Oklahoma Family of Secrets Hidden Away video. So if you want to watch that, you can go ahead and check out my channel and it's there for you to watch. Pretty good stuff. Juicy. Kind of terrifying, actually. So we are going to do the update for Wade Wilson. If you're interested, stick around.
Fox, thank you for joining us here today. As moments ago, we saw justice served for victims Kristine, Melton, and Diane Ruiz, as defendant Wade Wilson was sentenced to death for the horrendous, atrocious, and cruel crimes that he committed.
So Wade Wilson, I actually already went over. I have a whole video on him as well. He's 30 years old. He actually has been convicted of killing Kristine Melton, 35, and Diane Ruiz, 43. October 7th of 2019. Father of one of the victims is actually going to be going to his execution to witness this.
And Diane. And first of all, Kristine's family, her cousin Samantha, is here with us today. Come on up, Samantha.
Hi. As a family, we have all been really quiet because it was so important to the integrity of this case. Wade supporters have not been quiet, but we all know that the loudest ones are always the dumb ones anyways. But we're done being quiet. So I will say that this will not be the last that Wade Wilson sees of us in a courtroom. I think most importantly, I wanted to say thank you to Sarah and Andreas for hanging in there with us, because this has been 5 years of agony, and without them, I don't know that we would be here today. So I think that's most important to us, is to say thank you to them and to everyone that helped us on this path. And I think that's all I've got.
Thank you, Samantha. And now to speak on behalf of Diane, her father, Felix.
Yes, my name is Felix Ruiz, the father of Diane. I didn't get to say I love her and I miss her. But I also like to thank the state attorney and all the law enforcement involved in this case to make this day become the reality of today. I'd like you know that this is not the end. The end is when the accused takes his last breath, and I will be there at the execution. And that's a promise. Thank you.
And the state attorney is actually slamming anybody that has been idolizing this Wade Wilson guy. The killer that was convicted of killing 2 women, one of them he strangled, and then he pushed out of the car and proceeded to run her over until she looked like spaghetti. And this coming from Wade Wilson himself.
And awful elements detailing the crime scenes are to be commended, and I thank them again. It has not gone unnoticed that this defendant is being idolized by some people who are somehow proud to mix their name with his through public comments, fundraising for him, or holding him up to be some sort of positive representation of a man, ignoring that he is nothing more than a vicious killer and about the most poor representation of a man there could ever be. He murdered a woman in her own home who did nothing to harm him, Kristine Melton, as she simply slept in her bed. He murdered another woman, Diane Ruiz, who was simply walking to work. Both these women physically suffered tremendously due to his decision to kill and due to his horrible actions. They fought back. They fought for their lives. This defendant is no idol. It is a disgrace and it is pitiful to hold him up as such. This defendant is now nothing more than a number in the Florida Department of Corrections.
Wilson had one request after he had been convicted, and that was to the authorities to get him into death row as soon as possible. They got him into death row as soon as September 16th of this year. If this guy would not have been stopped like he has been stopped, there would have been, of course, in my opinion, so many more victims, and he may have gotten away with this for years upon years, just like other serial killers that are out there. I still can't believe there's actually people out there that are supporting him and that they really believe that he is not guilty, that they believe what he says. He's an evil man, in my opinion. Of course, my opinion. I can only imagine how the victims' families feel. I can just say that this is making it to where there's some justice done. I know that the victims can never be brought back, but there is justice done and nobody else will get hurt by this man. He says that he is not guilty, but I really truly believe he is guilty, and I believe that he only says he's not guilty because he does not want to be stuck in the place that he is stuck in right now, and he wants to come out and he wants to continue what he started in this world instead of being stuck in prison or being on death row that he is now on. Especially since he wants to get the earliest date that he can get for his death row. That shows a lot to me, and I feel like he just wants to get out of prison because it's not a good place. It's not supposed to be a good place. I really hope it's not a good place for him, and I hope he is miserable in it. My opinion, of course. How do you guys feel about this? I know there's a lot of people thinking differently. Some people think that he's not guilty, others think that he's guilty. Tell me what you think. How do you feel about it? If you're still here, I'm glad. Thanks for stopping by. Be safe out there. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know how somebody really is. Don't talk to strangers.